Good morning students. My name is Vijay Gupta and you are watching biology classes. So student, in this class of biology, today we are going to talk about a very important class of phylum Chordata, that is class Aves. In class Aves, all the birds are included. So in this video, we will talk about the introduction, the general characters of class Aves. Now, first of all, I would like to tell you about the meaning of the word Aves. So the word Aves originated from the Latin word avis, which means bird. So all the birds in the world are included in this class. After that, I want to tell you about the introduction. So the first point of introduction is about 9,000 living species. There are about 9,000 living species in the world. So all the birds are included in this class Aves. Next is ornithology, is the study of birds. For birds study, there is a separate branch of biology that is known as ornithology. So the study of birds is known as ornithology. Here I want to tell you an important question. Who was the famous Indian ornithologist? And the answer is Dr. Salim Ali, who worked on the birds. So Dr. Salim Ali is known as the famous Indian ornithologist. Next is oology. It is again a separate branch of biology in which study of bird's egg takes place. So the bird's egg study is known as oology. Now what about the general characters? First one is they are mostly aerial. When the animals are found in the air, then they are known as aerial animals. So most of the birds lives in the air, so they are aerial. Some birds like ostrich, emu, kiwi may be terrestrial because they can't fly. They are flightless birds. So most of the birds are aerial, while some birds are terrestrial. Body is spindle shaped. When the body is tapering at both the ends, suppose in a bird you can see, as you can see in the diagram, the beak is pointed while the tail is also pointed, and the middle part of the body is broader than the tail and beak. So this type of structure or this type of shape is known as a spindle shape. So the body is spindle shaped, which helps in flying especially. Divided into head, neck, trunk and tail. The body parts of a bird are, especially there are four distinct parts: the head, the neck, the trunk and the tail. So the body is divided into four distinct parts. Next is body is covered with feathers form the exoskeleton. The exoskeleton of the birds made up of feathers. There is no scales. So the body is covered by feathers which form the exoskeleton of birds, and the skin is generally dry. Next is limbs are two pairs. As you know that we are studying tetrapods. We are studying tetrapods. In tetrapods, amphibians, reptiles and now Aves. We are studying Aves today. So tetrapods, the most important quality of tetrapod is they have two pairs of limbs, means four limbs. So limbs are two pairs. Four limbs are modified into wings for flying. As you can see in the diagram, you can see only the hind limbs. Where are the four limbs? So I would like to tell you with the help of a diagram that in a bird, as you can see, these are the four limbs. These are the four limbs which are known as wings. So these are the wings, or you can see these are the four limbs which modified into wings for flying. So always remember this question. Birds also have four limbs, but their four limbs are modified into wings for flying. And now the hind limbs are short and modified according to the perching. When a bird sitting on a tree, you can see branch with the help of their hind limbs. So the hind limbs helps in perching. The phenomena to grasp the branch is known as perching. So hind limbs are modified for perching most of the times, and they help. So the next point is skin without glands. There are not any gland present on the body of birds, so the skin is without glands. Only preen gland is present at the base of tail. It's again an important point. The body of bird does not have any gland. There is a single gland which present at the base of tail, which is known as preen gland, and this preen gland secrete oil an oil which is known as preen oil. Generally, the birds touch their preen gland continuously, so the oil comes into the beak, and now this beak comes in contact with the wings of the birds, so they lubricate the wings with the help of preen oil, and this lubrication helps the bird that protect the birds from the water. So it is the function of preen gland. Now the next is, the bones are pneumatic or hollow and have no bone marrow. So again, this point you can see, suppose that this is a bone, any bone maybe. The bones are hollow. As you know, there is a cavity inside the bone in which a red colored marrow is present, which is known as bone marrow. But in case of birds, no bone marrow, and the bones are hollow or pneumatic. When the bones are filled with air, then it is known as pneumatic bones or hollow bones. So the bones are pneumatic or hollow and have no bone marrow. Bone marrow is absent in the bones of bird. Next is, mouth is replaced by a toothless beak. As you can see in the diagram, there is no mouth. Mouth is replaced by the beak. So this is the beak, and it is toothless, means teeth are absent in the beak. Next is, flight muscles are present. In birds, flight is a very special feature, and for this flight muscles are present, and these muscles are attached with its bony skeleton, so the flight muscles are found. Next is, esophagus is dilated into a crop. So I want to tell you this point with the help of a diagram. Esophagus, as you know, esophagus is the part of our alimentary canal, so it is a bird. In birds, it may be the alimentary canal, and this part is known as esophagus. So the esophagus dilates, as you can see, it is dilated, and to form a structure which is known as crop. So this is the dilated esophagus, form a structure which is known as crop, and the crop helps in the quick feeding. As you can see, esophagus is dilated into crop for quick feeding. You can see in a bird, it feeds so quickly, and all the food is stored in the crop. So the crop help in the quick feeding and storage. Food storage is also takes place inside the crop. So the crop helps in quick feeding and for food storage. Next is respiration by lungs. As you know that it is an aerial animal, so respiration takes place with the help of lungs, and lungs continues with air sacs. Now I would like to tell you, suppose that this is a bird. This is a bird, and it is the respiratory system of a bird in which trachea and lungs are present. So these are the one pair of lungs. Now in case of birds, air sacs are attached with the lungs. As you can see in the diagram, these are the air sacs. These are the air sacs which are attached with the lungs. These air sacs filled with air and reduce the body weight, so they helps in the aerial adaptation. So it is very important feature for the birds that their lungs consist of air sac, which helps to reduce the body weight and helps in the flying. Now the next is a sound box or syringe. As you know, many birds are capable to produce sounds. So to produce the sound, there is a special organ is present in the neck of the bird, which is known as syrinx or the sound box. So a sound box or syrinx is present in the birds, which helps in producing voices, different kinds of voices. Heart is four-chambered. As you know, in Aves or in birds and in mammals, the heart is completely four-chambered. When the heart consists of two upper chambers, which are auricles, and two lower chambers, which are ventricle, then this type of heart is known as completely four-chambered heart. So the birds have a completely four-chambered heart. So it is the four-chambered heart. Next is excretion uricotelic. When the animal exerted uric acid in the form of their excretory waste, then it is known as uricotelic. So birds exerted uric acid, so the birds are uricotelic. Urinary bladder absent. To reduce the body weight, urinary bladder is totally absent. Urinary bladder is the important part of excretory system in which urine is collected, but in case of birds, it is totally absent, which helps to reduce the body weight. So it is absent. Now the cloaca is present. As I told you before, that cloaca is a single opening in which digestive tract, excretory tract and reproductive tract, all three tracts opens. The single opening is known as cloaca. So cloaca is present in the birds. Birds lays their eggs with the help of cloaca. Now crop secrete pigeon milk during breeding season. I told you about the crop in a bird before some time. So again I am going to make the crop. So this is the crop. Crop secrete pigeon milk. In some bird like doves, pigeons, during breeding season, the crop secrete a special white milk like substance which is known as pigeon milk, and this pigeon milk nourish their young ones. So it is an important feature of the birds. Next is both clavicle and a single interclavicle. This is again an important point. Both clavicle and a single interclavicle fused and to form a V-shaped bone which is known as furcula. So I want to tell you with the help of a diagram again. Suppose that it is a bird. Suppose that this is a bird. In birds, in the neck there is a V-shaped bone is present, and this V-shaped bone is known as furcula or wishbone or merry-throat bone. This V-shaped furcula provides strength to the bird's skeleton. Now, in the structure of furcula, you can see both clavicle and a single interclavicle. As you know, these bones are known as collar bones or clavicle bones. So, a single clavicle bone, it is again a single clavicle bone. Both are fused together with the help of interclavicle bone. So, you can see in this diagram, it is a V-shaped bone formed by the fusion of three bones. This is clavicle, it is again clavicle, and this bone is interclavicle. So, both clavicle and a single interclavicle, both clavicle and a single interclavicle fused and to form a V-shaped bone, fused together and to form a V-shaped bone which is known as furcula or wishbone or merry-throat bone. It provides the strength to the skeleton. Next is they are unisexual. All the birds are unisexual. As you know, when the sexes are separate, male and female are separate, then the birds are known as unisexual. So they are unisexual. Sexual dimorphism present. When an animal can recognize with the help of their external feature, or you can say when the male and female easily can recognize with the help of their external feature, then this phenomenon is known as sexual dimorphism. You can say sexual dimorphism is present if you are able to distinguish the male and female separate. Now, I would like to tell you an example. Suppose that there is a bird, parrot. Everybody knows about parrot. So, green colored body, red colored beak of parrot. Now, I am saying that it is male and it is female. Now both are looking similar. There is no difference in male and female. But in case of birds or in case of sexual dimorphism, a red colored band is present in the neck of male. So you can easily recognize this is male and this is female. This phenomenon is known as sexual dimorphism. Means when the male and female both are different by their external features, then it is known as sexual dimorphism. So sexual dimorphism is present in all the birds. Most of the times the males are very colorful and beautiful, and the females are generally single or double colored only. So sexual dimorphism is found. Next is oviparous. All the birds are oviparous. female with a single left functional ovary and oviduct. In the reproductive system of female, there is a single ovary which functions and a single oviduct. Remaining other is functionless, so there is a single in females, a single, and which one? Left functional ovary and oviduct is present. The right ovary and right oviduct are functionless. Next is the development is direct. As you know, when there is no larva, then the development is known as direct. So in birds there is no larva, so development is direct in birds. Parental care well marked. As you can see in the amphibians, they make shelter for their young ones. In birds make nest for their young ones. They care their eggs, their young ones. So parental care is well marked in the birds. Next is eggs are cladoic. Cladoic meaning when the eggs are surrounded or when the eggs are protected with the help of a case or calcium carbonate shell, then this type of eggs are known as cladoic eggs. So eggs are cladoic means consisting a shell of calcium carbonate. Next is warm-blooded or homeotherm. Warm-blooded meaning when an animal is capable to constant their temperature according to the environment, then it is called as homeotherm or warm-blooded. In the reptiles and amphibians, I told you about the cold-blooded animals. They were unable to constant their temperature according to the environment. But here in Aves and mammals, these animals are capable to constant their body temperature according to the environment. So they are known as warm-blooded or homeotherm animals. Next is some birds shows migration. The movement from one place to another is known as migration. Every year from Siberia, thousands of birds comes in India for breeding during the winters. So this is known as migration. So it was all about the general characters. Here I made a diagram of an important representative of class Aves, which is known as scarlet macaw. Scarlet means red colored macaw. So its scientific name is Era macaw. As you can see in the diagram, it consists of a curved beak which helps in eating. These are the nostrils present at the base of beak. It is a face, white featherless face, means this part does not consist of feathers. Now these are the wings, as you can see, and it is the long tail of the macaw, and these are the hind limbs, claws of the hind limbs. So it's an important member of class Aves. In this video I told you about the introduction, about the general characters. I hope you understand very well. So thanks for watching. Have a good day.